NO2 emitted by vehicle emissions in the vehicle emissions. And before that, we discussed about ozone layer depletion. That's because of mainly CFC. And due to the aircraft, NO is also going to the ozone layer and can deplete it. And before that, we were talking about the acid rain and how to avoid the acid rain using the catalytic converter, which can remove NO and carbon monoxide, and not remove, convert NO and carbon monoxide into carbon dioxide and NO. You better go have a look at what you wrote, because I haven't put any notes on the this secret problems, right? Okay. And we were talking about sulfur, how to eliminate sulfur dioxide emission, reduce sulfur dioxide emission. And we'll talk about how these NO and SO2 gases are produced. I'm actually going backwards, right? Here, and then acid rain. And remember, these are the lessons, these are the stuff that we discussed last week. I hope you guys can remember, right? So anyway, I have like very maybe disappointed confidence with your memory of many of you, but we are thinking of what can we do, how can we help you guys to improve the memory. We have realized that there is a big issue in the memory of most of you. Most of you. Again, in facts, concepts, that memory is very random. We will see it, we'll do something to improve, but not in this like culture of like all this stuff in the school and stuff that you will anyway forget. So let's have this season off and then we'll start improving that memory. Okay, so water. Describe the chemical test for the presence of water. You can already see the white powder over here is anhydrous copper sulfate, copper 2 sulfate, of course, right? And if you put a little bit of water, you will see it clearly turns into blue. So this is hydrated copper sulfate. This is hydrated copper 2 sulfate. Now, when copper 2 sulfate is used to test water, this is the color change, white to blue. On the other hand, there is another substance called cobalt 2 chloride, right? Hello. Okay, cobalt 2 chloride. This is anhydrous cobalt 2 chloride. The anhydrous form of this, is blue in color. And hydrated form, when water is added, right? Hydrated form is pink in color. So blue doesn't mean that it should be always containing water, right? Yes.
So it's not soluble.
They are soluble.
So what
We put only like this is what you need to understand. Hydrated in the sense we haven't added like a lot of water so that it will dissolve, right? It just have got its water of crystallization, which still can be solid, right? Which can be done water. Right? So, picture colors දාලා මේවා දීලා තියෙනකොට මේවා බලන්න එතකොට තමයි brain එක ඇතුලේ ඔක්කොම generated knowledge. Right? So these are all reversible reactions. If you can remember, copper sulfate one was a reversible reaction, right? Plus 5H2O. Only it has to be water, otherwise it won't become this blue color substance. It's still solid, right? But if you like pour water, you get a solution of that color. Don't write their names, chemical formulae, and then the color change. You just have to like shade them with the respective colors, right? Topic එක බලලා ලියන්න, topic එක බලලා ලියන්න. I don't think you guys are, some of you are reading your book, reading your note and doing it. Read the topic. All right, next. We need more time. So this is how we identify the presence of water. Maybe let's say we see a steam-like thing is coming from a reaction. We want to see whether it's water or not. So then we send that steam thing, or we bring cobalt chloride. There is a paper called cobalt chloride paper, such as pH paper. When you hold it, and that paper is usually bluish color. If it is water produced by the reaction, so that paper goes pink. And also, you might have seen certain meters used to check the humidity. Humidity indicators are there. Sometimes not highly used in our countries, but other countries sometimes even at home they have the humidity indicator. Like so those humidity indicators are most of the time they contain cobalt chloride. Like depending on humidity, it will be like bluish, or if high humidity, it's going to be pink. If it is very dry day, then it goes like bluish, right? So, okay, so a bit of information about that. Okay, shall I move on? Next one. Two different types of water, right? Used in experiments. What are they? Distilled water, tap water, right? What we use in the laboratory for most of the experiments, of course, in the low level experiments, we use the tap water, but it should be distilled water. Why? This tap water contains many impurities, even though we drink it and they are not very harmful for us, but there are some impurities. Can you tell me what could be the main impurity that you find in tap water? Huh? Main impurity? Yeah, you are correct.
Chlorine.
Chlorine. Okay, rather than chlorine, I would say sodium chloride. But you don't feel it's salty at all. There is a considerable amount of sodium ions and chloride ions in tap water, which we can't completely remove with the purification process, right? In addition to that, you have a lot of carbon dioxide dissolved. Take first carbon dioxide, you have like O2 dissolved, right? And of course, chlorine aqueous, which have been put to what? Disinfect water in the water purification process. It can contain. So then if we use this in order to do our laboratory experiments, what sort of interference can occur? What kind of interference can occur? With the tap water experiments of use what will happen? You have chlorine. Chlorine is a bleaching agent. So then our chemicals might get bleached, right? Chlorine is an, let's say, oxidizing agent, right? It can oxidize substances in our experiment. So that's going to interfere our chemical results, right? Suppose we are doing test for chloride ions. අපි test for chloride ions කරනවා. I mean, not in tap water, something in other sample. And we use tap water which contains chloride ion. What will happen now? What will happen to our experiment? It interferes, right? You get a white precipitate not because the sample has sample has chloride ion. Because tap water contains bit of chloride ion. So අපි chloride ion test කරනකොට මේ white precipitate එක ඇවිල්ලා බලනකොට sample එකේ නැහැ. So if that is done in forensic investigations or something, then it's a big one. Mistake in order to draw the conclusions. Is that clear? Right. And so that's tap water. And it might have some, not pathogens, of course, but some microbes. Some microbes are there, right? So those are the stuff that you can find in tap water. But distilled water, you know what is meant by distilled water. You distill impure water and you collect the distillate. And that will be distilled water. Sometimes we do double distillation. We distill it 2 times so that almost no ions. There can be a little bit of ions due to certain reasons, right? Almost no ions. Almost no ions from salts. Ions from salts. Right? Distilled. So then less gases dissolve. I can't say that no gases dissolve because once it is made, if you don't like seal that container and keep it, still some gas can dissolve, but less gases dissolve. So mostly close to pH, very close to pH 7. But this should be around pH 5. Yeah, 5 to 6 because of the acidic influence. So those are the differences between tap water and distilled water. What's the next question? Describe two test. That part. Okay, just keep that. Explain why distilled water is used to practical chemistry rather than tap water. You can now write an answer, right? Why tap water may have some impurities such as these things can interfere in the experimental results, whereas distilled water has almost no salts, less gases dissolved and pH is around 7. Okay, so make your own answer. We are continuing the paper 2 revision. So you got two paper 2s, full paper 2s, right? Third day ka tapiyano, right? We will be having the third paper 2 also. Okay. And we can see like there is a good change of marks from some students. And see the improvements in marks. So those who haven't got enough improvement, here is the chance. Third paper, get ready. And due to the sports weeks, I will not be doing the revision class coming week. This Tuesday, I'm not doing. Therefore, you have ample time to study and prove that you are working. Okay? Okay. Bit of time there, right? Is it the class is chemistry on 22nd?
Yes. But I such a good HP timetable.
What?
Oh, yeah. it was-
Hari, okay, check කළා මට කියන්න. We'll
I
do
had the
something.
body of the attention.
We'll do something. I'll give a plan in. I want to have at least one more. All right. Okay. So there is one question I missed. Yes, qualitatively we find whether it's water or not by using copper sulfate or water flow, right? But quantitatively, if you want to tell it's not just water, it's pure water, you have to check the boiling point and melting point. Right? So what you have to describe to describe how to test the purity of describe how to test the purity of water. Now it's not like you are checking whether it's water, you are checking how much pure is water, and also you find that it's a liquid, so then we want to confirm it's water by checking the boiling point. So what you have to say, determine the melting point. It should be 0 degrees Celsius. Or determine boiling point, it should be 100 degrees Celsius. First, when the boiling starts, it should be 100. That's the objection. Yeah, we have to boil. Boil means it starts giving you what? Bubbles from water. Evaporation, you don't see bubbles. Right? Boiling around bubbles have become like temperature 100. Right? Melting means the first moment you see the ice crystals occur. That's the thing. Right? But anyway, okay. It's hard to find it out, isn't it? Again, you can like check that then on the crystals and here is the temperature. But the thing is, it's very simple. I mean, not as simple as I tell. But what you can do, just heat it. Just heat it. No need to see the bubble formation. You will see anyhow. Record the temperature with time. That's what we learned as the heating curve. We have a temperature when you not when you You might have missed the first bubble formation. Doesn't matter. Why? When the boiling occurs, temperature remains what? Constant. So there will be a time period where temperature remain constant. So if the temperature remain constant, you will see the boiling also occurring. So that's the boiling point, right? So not only just having 100 constant is another confirmation, because if it is not pure, it won't be constant. It will slowly like change. During the boiling, it goes 101, 102, 103, like that. And constant and 100, both words must be important, right? Pure water will have constant 100 degrees Celsius boiling point. Even the melting point, constant 0 degrees melting point, right? So include that word constant also. Oh, fixed boiling point, fixed melting point, that's a concept. So you write determine boiling point of water. It should be 100 degrees Celsius constant temperature. Determine the melting temperature of water. It should be determine the melting temperature of the unknown liquid. It should be constant 0 degrees Celsius for water. Okay. Right.
That's the 1980.
It may have the temperature around minus, keep it around minus and slowly increase the temperature. At 0, melting happens and 0 will stay constant. Right? Okay. Next. States the substances found in water source and in a water source and potential sources should in water, right? And potential sources of those substances. Can you tell me what kind of substances that you will find in a water sample? Dissolved carbon dioxide. Very good. So shall we say dissolved gases such as oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, yes, little bit of nitrogen. So sources, the gases in atmosphere as dissolved earlier. We can start writing. And write the source also. Yeah, any more examples? Sorry? Chlorine. Correct. So you can write chlorine. We wrote that also. Let's write the substances that we haven't deliberately added. Things that would contaminate water due to like other activities. Now, this one we add that. What else? Sodium chloride in CO2. Okay. So why not we say dissolve what? Dissolve salts. Right? Like sodium chloride, even little bit of calcium chloride and stuff. So how do you get that? Sodium chloride and ammonium salts. How do you get dissolved salts into water? Any idea? Sodium.
Sometimes gases they get puffed up.
Fertilizer may have. With the sodium chloride ready for the urine. You have sodium chloride, right? Lot of sodium chloride in urine. So waste products of animals. නැද්ද?
Sir, sea water කියන්නේ
හරි ඉතින් දැන් කන්දේ හරි ගඟක තියෙන waste impurities වලට sea water ලියන්න පුළුවන්. උද ඇවිල්ලා කරට ඇතුළට නෑ නේද? So if you find some impurities in river water, they are coming from what? They are coming from animal waste. Animal waste, right? Also, yes, some fertilizer, but I want to exclude the fertilizer part here. We'll write it separately, right? So then animal waste, animal waste, animal waste. Or you can say sewage. Right? So what about what else?
So it's
Right? What about nitrates, nitrates and phosphates? Nitrates and phosphate, they are kind of very troublemaking two ions in water sources. Right? They are coming from definitely fertilizers and detergents. Right? Nitrate from fertilizers. Fertilizers. Phosphate from both fertilizer and detergents. Now, why such specific example in such a general situation? Because we actually use a lot of detergents, right? If you consider the human civilization, like every house, we are using detergents to clean the clothes. And where are we dumping all these things? You never care about it. But where are we dumping it to? That we are dumping into a soil or a water system. So that detergent is going to dissolve and go to the atmosphere. Okay. Make a venom liver, even it's better, right? Nitrates and phosphate. And metal compounds. Some metal compounds. And when I say like sodium chloride is also a metal compound, calcium chloride is also a metal compound. But we get some metal compounds, especially heavy metal compounds, right? Heavy metal compounds. How do you get heavy metal compounds? Into water. For example, lead ions, cadmium ions, aluminum ions. They are coming to water reservoirs because of entire human activity. What is that? Entirely from human activity. What is that? Factories, right? Factory effluents, right? Okay, so these are coming from factories or chemical industries. Not only chemical industry, but also the other industries as well, right? Also metal extraction industries, metal extraction plants, and sometimes heavy metal compounds are coming because we are using them as insecticides, weedicides, right? Because unlike fertilizer, these are toxic, right? These are toxic. And here we have another the very problematic case. That means harmful microbes. Microbes are anyway there. Harmful microbes. We call them what? Pathogens. How do you get pathogens? That's again human and human and animal waste. Yeah, human and yeah, correct. Diphtheria, cholera, like bacteria. E. coli. E. coli is not exactly the pathogen, but it's an indicator of pathogens. E. coli තියෙනවා කියන්නේ human waste තියෙනවා. That's how they test. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මේ drinking water අපිට එනකොට මේ ඔක්කොම මොනවාද එන්න ඕනේ. Purify වෙලා එන්න ඕනේ. Like imagine purification doesn't mean it has to remove all the salts and stuff, especially these harmful microbes, heavy metal, phosphates, nitrates must have been removed. Nitrates is not the issue. Right? Nitrate is the hardest thing to remove with the water also. Right? And what's the sea pollution thing? Plastics. 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 We get it as a garbage. The source is garbage. Let me put your video and join the class. So those are the stuff that you can, I mean, there are many things. Mainly, they are the stuff that you find in water. All right? Okay. So what you are going to do before you drink them, you are going to what? Clean them. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. Before that, can you divide them into beneficial stuff and non-beneficial stuff? Please consider
Excuse me,
nitrate and
sir.
phosphate as different. Yeah, Mithun.
Sir, are you screen sharing?
Yeah. Video ka දාන්න Mithun. So separate them into beneficial and non-beneficial. When I say beneficial, it is like for us as well as for the aquatic animals. අමාර අය වතුර water ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්න නෙමෙයි දැන් water නාන්න යන්නේ. නිදිමත එකට. මොකද අද කට්ටිය නිදිමත? හා? දැන් කිසි කික් එකක් නැහැ වගේ නේ. Maybe you guys are tired with this sport meet work and no? That's fine. You're done? Okay, dissolved gases, oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, they all are important for aquatic ecosystems, and even some salts are important, right? For example, we can't drink like 100% distilled water. Why? අපි distilled water බිව්වොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? Actually, rather than distilled water, say there is water, double distilled water. There is like a lot of like almost all ions are removed. We call them deionized water. If you drink that, what will happen? No idea. Biology what you can you get sick. Okay, that's the general comment. Right? Anemia.
I guess.
At least some good try. Huh? And unable to absorb in the digestive tract as well as in the kidneys, right? Before that, you need to understand if you put like, let me use your biology words that I learned last Saturday. High photonic solution. We use the high photonic. If water is high photonic. High photonic means it contains less ions than it should be. Right? A hypotonic view of මොකද වෙන්නේ? ඔයාගේ ඇඟේ තියෙන salts ටික එතනට එනවා. ඒවට වලට එනවා because of the osmosis and mainly due to osmosis. Right? तर මොකද වෙන්නේ? ඔයාගේ issues එනවා cells වල. Right? The other one is too much of salt is again bad. That also that will attract water. That's hypertonic, right? All right. Therefore, it's better to have proper balance in ions, right? We call them isotonic, right? Taking the occoma ions sign from the name. Therefore, ions are beneficial, but at enough concentration. Definitely nitrates and phosphates. Now, nitrates and phosphates are good for plants, but not for animals. The plants use them as fertilizers, but not for animals. So then when you write the benefit, they are mainly focusing on human and animals here. Definitely plastic, microbes, pathogens, metal compounds, heavy metal compounds. Heavy metal compounds are not good, right? They are not good. But sodium chloride is also metal compound, therefore it is good. It's good for what? I mean, to make the water isotonic, right? So, pros and cons. So you have to write answers accordingly how they ask the questions. But these heavy metal compounds are very bad. They are the ones giving like kidney diseases, cancer causing, heart diseases, like a lot of issues in these heavy metal compounds, right? Okay, so the last topic of this semester, that's water purification. For that, we'll watch a video. I like this video. I downloaded like several years ago, but still I like it.
Ah, nature, so beautiful and calm.
Hey, Splash, did you know that reservoirs like this are one of the places where we get our drinking water?
Wait a minute there. You don't want to drink this stuff. I'm telling you, I've got a lot of water, including this reservoir. You know what's in there? Fish. You know what they do, right? They
Oh, Splash, don't even go there.
You know, a lot happens to this water before we can drink it.
You're telling me, hey, I've been cleaned up a few times.
American Water's experts work round the clock, removing bacteria, viruses, micropollutants, and other harmful particles from the water you drink. They do such a good job that American Water often provides water service that is better than what the government requires.
The treatment process begins here at the pumping station.
Pumps draw raw water from reservoirs, lakes, rivers, streams, wells, or underground aquifers. Water travels by pipeline from the pumping station to the treatment facility. The first step in the cleaning process removes sediment and particles from the water with the help of coagulants.
What?
Coagulants are chemicals that act like magnets. They cause particles in the water to stick together. These groups of particles are called clot.
Huh, I didn't know I had it in me.
American Water uses two common processes to separate and remove flock from water. One sinks flock to the bottom of a tank. The other method pumps air into the water and flock, causing residual particles to float to the top. The separation of water and flock is called clarification. With either method, the clarification process removes most of the flock from the water. The next step, filtration.
Whoa, hey, watch it. Wow, can a water droplet get a bruise? Jeez, ow. Wow, I just got pushed through layers of activated carbon, sand, and gravel. Please tell me I'm clean.
Yeah, sorry, Splash, you're not completely out of the water. You're filtered, but you might be infected with tiny microorganisms. Don't worry, disinfection doesn't hurt. Chlorine and ozone are just two of the ways we disinfect water at American Water.
I love chlorine. It's been disinfecting water and keeping me clean for over a century. But what's ozone?
Ozone is supercharged oxygen. These bubbles scrub and disinfect. Viruses, germs, and fungi don't stand a chance.
Hey, it tickles. Stop it already. I'm gonna wet my pants.
Hey, Splash, guess what? You're finally drinking water, ready for distribution to homes and businesses.
All right, so let's go back to the video. Certain. That's okay. Clarification නම් ඕනේ නැහැ. ඒකට coagulation ඒ වගේ ඕන වෙනවා. Right?
Yeah, but now with the same video.
Yeah, we use the same resources always. And this is more commonly available in, okay. Let me see. Stop this.
Drinking water?
Wait a minute, do you know what's in there?
Go there.
I've been cleaned up a few times.
Experts work
So
round
the first thing they do screening. They send water through screen. What will happen? So these insoluble big particles, plastic, other screen. So then you can get rid of that big insoluble stuff, screen. After that, you will see the water is very like cloudy and brown.
block, removing bacteria.
Brownish color වගේ තියෙනවා, right? So what they do, they add coagulant, right? The coagulant means compounds like aluminium sulfate. This aluminium is well known for sticking things. When you put aluminium sulfate into, actually it's called alum. You call that compound alum, hardness of a right? When you put that, it is sticky for the suspended particles. Some suspended particles there are particles in water, they are suspended. They don't easily sediment. They are too small to sediment, right? But they are too big to dissolve. They are a big headache because it's very difficult to get rid of them. Coagulants, it will make those things to stick together and they become big particles. Big particles, they are sticky, then they will either move down or what? Float. So in clarification, what we do, either we sediment them. Sediment them means let them go down and get the water out. And there are some one floating. And then we let them to float and get the water which is at the bottom. So that's what you call clarification, right? So that's called flock. Flock will either sediment or float, right? That's what you call the clarification process.
Goes from the water with the help of coagulants.
Coagulant. What?
Coagulants are chemicals that act like magnets. They cause particles in the water to stick together. These groups of particles are called flock.
Huh, I didn't know I had it in me.
American water uses two common processes to separate.
So that's the one. This is here, their sedimentation. Make up sedimentation, right? This is called sedimentation.
And remove flock from water. One saves flock to the bottom of a tank.
You can see they are now at the bottom of the tank and water is taken from the top.
The other method pumps air into the water and flock, causing residual particles to float to the top.
If not on the top, water is taken from the.
Separation of water and flock is called clarification. With either method,
What
the
is
clarification
collected?
process removes most of the flock from the water.
And after that, they do filtration because even though they sediment things, you still have bit of particles which are not soluble in water. And you are filtering them through sand and activated charcoal. Activated charcoal does a very important role, right? Now, this is like scientific method. Have you heard about these grandparents? Archila Sayana, Lindata Dano, Anguru. Anguru Dano, Lindata. And they do that as a one of the ritual also. අවුරුද්දට සිංහල අවුරුද්දටත් ලිඳට දානවා ගුරුයි කෑමයි ඒව ටිකක් දාලා ලිඳත් එක්ක කණු දෙනු කරනවා කියන දෙයක් අහලා තියෙනවද? හොඳයි. හරිද සතුටුදායකයි. Right? දානවා ලිඳත් එක්ක ගනුදෙනු කරනවා කියලා කාසියක් දානවා. කාසියක් දානවා ඒ අඟුරු දානවා. අඟුරු දානවා. ඒ වගේ කරනවා. So then people thought maybe කිසිම scientific base එකක් නැති දේවල් කියලා. But there is a scientific base. Right? One scientific base about this charcoal thing, anguru, is the activated carbon. Activated carbon is really good at absorbing organic impurities, organic chemicals. Right? In that list, there must be another one. එක box එකක් ඉතුරු වුණානේ. ඒක ලියන්න. Go back to the list of water. මෙතුක ඔය අහගෙන දින්නේ. මෙතුක අහගෙන දින්නේ ඔය.
Yes, sir.
අපි ඉතින් හීනෙන් ඇවිල්ලා කියන්න ඕනේ වට එහෙම ඉස්සරහ. Seventh one is all right, okay, let's move on. So this activated charcoal is capable of absorbing these organic impurities. Please go to the different substances in water, right? There are seventh one you write, organic compounds. Example? No. Proteins, amino acids, carbohydrates, lipids, they are organic compounds, right? So also some other organic compounds which are not like natural, right, are there. So this activated charcoal can remove them easily, right? Remove them easily. And source. What other source? Source second. Maybe household waste and animal waste. Household waste and animal waste. Domestic waste and animal waste. You can understand, no, when we put waste into the environment, like how water is the waste වලදී නෝ. දැන් ඔයා අද පාන් කාලා ඉතුරු වෙච්ච පාන් වාටි ටික ගාබේජ් එකකට දැම්මම මොනවද තියෙන්නේ පාන් වල? පත් කාලා පත් ටික දැම්මම මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? Carbohydrates, right? We are over consuming as a society. These days the problem. We are over consuming. Over consume කරන්නේ නැහැ. අපි consume කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. අවශ්‍ය ගාන consume කරන්නේ නැහැ. We buy things extra and eat most probably 80% of stuff, and rest of the 20% we dump into the environment. Metabolic and then dead bodies and stuff, all this stuff. So then there's a lot of things in water. Then purify color the way. So then every time when I see you guys are fighting with water, right? You guys feel it's very cool. It is not full at all. Because it's waste of what? Resource. You may be thinking, this water, no, එකේ මොකක්ද ප්‍රශ්නේ එකේ මොනවාද waste එකක් නැහැනේ. හැබැයි මේක ලොකු purification process එකක් ගිහිල්ලා ආපු දෙයක්. Right? Now there are people in this world, kids in the world, who don't have water. They drink cattle urine. වතුර නැති හින්දා. Have you heard in Africa? අපි purified water වලින් මොනා කරනවා? ගහ ගන්න. water pipe ගන්න. කෑම බෝල birthday cake කියනවා. මොකද කරන්නේ? cake එක මේවා කරන්නේ මූණේ දානවා. Don't people do that? Right? මම නම් කවදාවත් මගේ ළමයින්ට නම් පුරුදු කරන්න යනවා. මගේ දෙන්නත් නම් මම පුරුදු කරන්නේ I don't know whether they are going to do it in future, but I never encourage. Why? සල්ලි දෙන්න පුළුවන් කේක් එකක් ගන්න. ඒනට we have to always think about this waste of resource. Right? මේ ලෝකේ තව පැත්තක මිනිස්සු ඉන්නවා අඩු ගානේ දවල්ට කන්න පාවුන්ට් එකක්වත් ගන්න. ලෝකෙ නෙමෙයි ලංකාවේ ඉන්නවා. ලංකාවේ නෙමෙයි කොළඹ ඉන්නවා. කොළඹ එක සමාන ඉස්කෝලේ ළමයි ඉන්නවා. ප්ලේන් ටිය බීලා තමයි ගෙදරින් එන්නේ. ඉගෙන ගන්න. We have done charities around the schools, not like village schools. Right? එහෙම ළමයි ඉන්නවා. අපි මොකද කරන්නේ? ඒක කරා මූණේ ගන්න. Right? Something you guys have to think about. Right? Okay. So anyway, at one point, all these are science. Science කරන ළමයින්ට විතරයි මේක ටිකක් හරි scientifically හිතලා නතර කරන්න. අනිත් අයට එහෙමත් idea එකක් නැහැ. They don't know what substance is there, right? How these things came into cake, how these things came into food. They don't know. Therefore, it's just a fun. And the simple excuse they say, then gun the fund take power the gun. That's a simple excuse. That means the fund has to be redefined. Right? If for the car in night, or the dealer there. ඔගොල්ලෝ තමයි මගේ ඉස්සරහට කවදාවත් food වලින් නම් ගහගන්න එපා. I will definitely react.
The next step, filtration.
So in filtration, it's several. Sand is going to remove the particles. Activated charcoal is the one removing the odor and that unpleasant taste that water might have because of organic compounds. Right? Activated charcoal, nice. Two applications. You know that this motorbike can activated the charcoal දාපු mask එක. ඇයි? Because there are a lot of ways, like you are like inhaling like, a relatively large amount of air than just walking because you are going through air faster, right? There are dark exposure, so the activated charcoal will help you to get it. Anything got cosmetics products and the activated charcoal. Hari the moon a garden දෙයක් නැහැ. මොනක් ගන්නවා? අඟුරුත් ගන්නවා. Right? Activated charcoal. Why? But that's anyway good. Why? Now our skin might have certain organic compounds deposited or even secreted from the skin itself, right? They might have now decomposed by bacteria, and there are bacteria can create harmful compounds. Activated charcoal is going to absorb them and cleanse it. Yes? They are okay. That's a good question. They aerate this. They send oxygen and they aerate this. But that is also helping to get rid of some bacteria and helping stuff to become like floating. Right? They aerate water.
So doesn't charcoal have a taste?
The charcoal water thing mix the brush charcoal is insoluble in water. The activated charcoal chunk එකක් විතර හදලා තියෙන එක mix and particles water. හදලා තියෙන.
Those tubes, it's a ozone pump.
No, ozone will be added later. Right? Once everything filtered and stuff, only ozone done. Because that's not like a chlorine ozone them both. Organic compounds will react with them and produce even more dangerous compounds soluble. I current bag. Right? For example, photochemical smoke, I told you, ozone is produced and produce even more dangerous compounds. Okay, Sarah? Yeah, right? Okay. And then ozone and chlorine will be used to disinfect water. So that's the story. So then go to the next page. It's the last page of this tutorial, right? And complete the 7 steps. Just write the description of the 7 steps. I'll share the page in the chat, Petuka. And write the description also. Hurry, quickly, quickly. Okay, this is the page I said there is nothing to send. You can quickly do that. Petuka. 7 step, 7 descriptions. And this is the
Okay.
diagram. It has also taken from the textbook. And
Okay, sir.
almost everything is already there, but some of the descriptions I have removed. Right, first part is, one is screening. Description is removing big insoluble substances from water. Second, what you do? Adding coagulant to what? What you do there? Yeah, and then what do you call that process? Sedimentation.
So then block.
Block formation, sedimentation. Flotation tank, that is also removing flock. So both processes are together called clarification. බලන්න තනියම ලියන්න දුන්නම තමයි බලන්න තියෙන සෙල් එක. හරි අමාරුයි නේ? Unable to generate whatever been taught. කරන්න type දෙන්න කරන්න. type දෙන්න ලියා ගන්න බෑ. second එකක් දීලා නැහැ හරියට. second එකේ description එකට මොකද්ද ලියන්න ඕනේ? Block formation and what? Sedimentation of suspended particles. මේ main exam එකට එන ඒවා. Flotation is an extra step, but you can write that's also removing flock, which is floating. Seventh lecture adding fluoride ions. That is for the health of our dental health. Fluoride helps us to keep like strong enamel, right? So most of the time from the food we don't get fluoride ions. So then what usually do as a practice, they add fluoride ion, very little concentration so that it's not unhealthy for us. When we drink water, it goes into our blood and helps the tooth decay. Fourth, you have to say filtration through sand. Fifth, filtration through charcoal. And the description, we are filtering through sand to get rid of tiny insoluble particles. Sand taking up here to get rid of tiny insoluble particles. Charcoal it's already explained. Seventh, addition of fluoride. That is to improve the depth, 5 to 3. Take my explain that's normally they don't ask. What is very important is addition of chlorine or ozone. 6 එකට ලියන්න ඕනේ. ඔහේ නිකන් addition of chlorine කියලා විතරයි ලියලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? Diagram එකේ තියෙන chlorine විතරයි, but you learn today it can be even ozone. Right? එකක් ලියන්න. හරිනේ? Okay, so let me give you just like 5 to 10 minutes. ලියන්න social link. මෙච්චර ආදිච්ච මොකක්ද? අපිට පෙන්නන්න බෑ මං කියනකම් බලාගෙන ඉන්න එක. හරිද? ඩික්ටේට් කරනකම් දැන් කියලා තුනේ කොහොමද ලියන්න බැරදෙන්න හරි ලියන්න. I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes. Just go through the whole tutorial and see what you guys have learned. I know that most of things are now clear what happened, but I'm pretty sure there are issues like this. Sometimes you mix up the particular pollutant giving particular environmental issue, right? So what does actually CFC do? What does sulfur dioxide do? Because same pollutant can be resolved reason for two environmental issues, right? It can be several pollutants giving the same environmental issue. Things are like that. And then we are moving into STT discussion.
Starting opening question.
First week of December. Okay, let's see. Sorry. Yeah. Explain the process in the sense, the reactions and stuff, yes. They can ask. Sulfur dioxide is absorbed by calcium carbonate. But you have 2 minutes and take this, we can discuss it. Take your CD out there. Ask about it. යන්තම් MCQ විතරයි කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. You want to bring? ඔයගලගේ ක්ලාස් එකේද සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක තිබුණේ මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක? Okay. Then I know the answer. That was it. I'm really sorry I couldn't come, but I'll talk about that later. But I watched all the videos. Super.
What about our concept?
Huh?
What our
You one was
on Tuesday?
coming one.
No, they are. So you are doing the long.
ඔයගලගේ එක නෙමෙයි. මට දෙකටම එන්න බැරි වුණා. I didn't get the videos on that. අක්කෙනා මට videos.
So Manoj got including.
Okay. Which statement about gases in the atmosphere is correct? Carbon monoxide is a pollutant which causes acid rain. Wrong. This is correct, but it doesn't cause acid rain because carbon monoxide is neutral. Right? Discussions diagram. Right? Catalytic converter reduces carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide. Sounds very correct, right? But the answer is wrong. The reason is this is an oxidation process. See how tricky the statements are. This is an oxidation process. Right? Methane in the atmosphere depletes ozone layer. That's wrong. Ozone layer depletion is due to CFC. Now, in the syllabus, ozone layer, no, not there. No, there is no ozone layer depletion to discuss. But in past papers, you have. That's why I told it, right? Okay. Photosynthesis adds oxygen to the atmosphere. Of course, we know that. And maybe they can argue even see ozone layer depletion is not there. You guys know photosynthesis well. Therefore, you must be able to select the answer B. However, please write the discussion. Review with a lian, right? Okay. Fish are unable to live in some lakes because of there is insufficient oxygen, eutrophication. You don't know. Let me explain it now. Listen carefully, right? All right. So let me explain the eutrophication as an extra discussion. So let's say this is a lake. We have water, right? We have fish. Then there, right? We have nice submerged plants and some floating plants and flowers and some algae, bit of algae, planktons, right? So it is a well balanced system. right? The materials inside are balanced in cyclic process. It's always this terrible creature called human is sending what? Nitrates and what? Phosphates. Nitrates and phosphates. Nitrates from fertilizer. Phosphate from detergent. Right? And both of them are very good for what? Very good for? No. Right? Very good for plants. Right? Both of them are very good for plants. So what will happen? Salaga another process.
So then it's a bad thing.
Right? So it is really good for plants, especially these microbial plants called algae. Right? The name ecosystem එකට වෙන දේ බලන්න. So since we have put a lot of nitrates and phosphates, these algae feel like growing very fast. Why? A lot of fertilizer. Right? Algae කියන චූටි පොළ පාට ඇහැට පේන්නේ. Right? Okay, so then what will happen to the algae concentration? Increases. Yes, definitely. Can okay payment. Right? So you have a green blanket on the top. So previously the sunshine went into the deep layer of water, right? Now what happens? The light can't go inside. So it's really dark there at the bottom. What happens? These submergible plants die. They die. These submergible plants die. When submergible plants die, then so these dead plants have to be decomposed. Right? So the decomposing is done by bacteria. Decomposing is done by bacteria. The bacteria here will utilize all oxygen to decompose these plants. Now the oxygen level in the water is going down. Therefore, these fish can't live anymore, and some other plants as well. The fish die. They start floating. Right? Fish die. And they are also dead bodies. The rest of the bacteria will use other amount of oxygen also. And then you get a lot of organic matter, algae, blooming happens even more, and the whole balance is lost. See the damage this guy does to them. Right? Okay. 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 So this is called eutrophication. Eutrophication can be explained in 4 or 5 steps, right? First of all, you can say due to nitrates and phosphate. What happens first? Algae bloom. What do you call this? Algae bloom. That's the first thing. Then sunlight can't go to the bottom of the water reservoir, right? So no sunlight for submergible plants, submerged plants. So they die. Then what happens? Bacteria decompose dead plants. Utilizing what? utilizing oxygen. Now, oxygen concentration decrease. So fish died. The other. So this is called eutrophication. Korean common language. Correct. Algae produce oxygen and also use oxygen. They are plants. When they start dying also, then again from bacteria work on them and produce oxygen, and it's completely smelling, ugly water source. Phosphates. Remind nitrates and phosphates. Remind. Sorry. The other thing is maybe 3 minus maybe 3 having. Due to nitrates and phosphates, algae bloom occurs. Don't try to copy, try to write from what you heard. No sunlight for submerged plants, and so they die.
It's dissolved in accident.
Okay.
The fertilizer gets dissolved in accidentally. It's
Acid rain.
not accident.
Right. Yeah. That's how fertilizer is coming to the river. First of all, you have to say that like nitrates and phosphates are washed away from the rain and come into the water streams. Yeah, they are beneficial. That's why the algae bloom occurs. You have unnecessary amount of nitrates and phosphate in. No, I didn't say. I said beneficial to plants only, not for the normal systems, right? Plants are together come and they may can be river. The nitrates and nitrates are toxic also. මං කිව්වා ඒකේ සමහර substances තියෙනවා they are in one way beneficial, one way not. හරිද ලිවද? diagram එකක් අඳගන්න ඉතින්. Whatever the way diagram දෙකම අදින්න ඕනේ මොකක් හරි එකක් අඳගන්න. Right? Bacteria decompose dead plants. Dead plants. Bacteria decompose dead plants utilizing oxygen. ඒවත් මැරෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒවටත් නැහැ. Some of them survive. Surface එකේ තියෙන අය survive වෙනවා. හැබැයි ඉතින් මේක මේ තුලේ මේ decomposition reactions ඇවිල්ලා pH balance එකයි ammonia වැඩි වෙච්ච ගමන් ඉතුරු සත්තු ගස් ටිකත් මැරෙනවා. That's what happens in most of your domestic fish tanks. අර අවුව වැටෙන තැන් වල තියෙන fish tanks වලට ටක් ගාලා algae bloom එක එනවනේ. Because algae blooms when nitrates and sunlight are there. We call it algae bloom. ඒ bloom එක වෙන්නේ මොන හරි imbalance වුණොත්. Normal ecosystems වල algae bloom වෙන්න බෑ because not enough nitrates. Nitrates there. ඒගොල්ලෝ they exist in the whatever they can live. When nitrates are there, sunlight is also there. Like the other microbes propagate, they propagate. මොකද? අයි අපි කැම දාන්නේ. ඒවල තියෙන proteins. ගොඩක් ඒවා proteins. ඒවා හදලා තියෙන ඔය සත්තුන්ගේ මේ blood වලින් විසිකරන mass වලින් ඒ වලින් තමයි ඒවා හදලා තියෙන්නේ. So then proteins, ටක් ගාලා එක ammonia වෙනවා. Ammonia or nitrates. Good question. The example of water quality එක සෞඛ්‍යයේ දාන කැම. If you want your fish to live longer, feed them less. ඔගොල්ලෝ එන්නේ අනේ අපේ පැටියනේ කියලා දානවා නේද? ආපහුතර කාපයි. කියලා දාපු ගමන් මොකද වෙන්නේ? There will be food remaining. And that is going to get spoiled. And that spoiled food is going to make a lot of issues. Especially ammonia become toxic for the fish. ඒක තමයි. එයාට දාන්න ඕනේ මොකක්ද කැම. එයාට උතරම් කැම තියෙනවා අපිට පෙවුන නැතුව. Right. So what is correct? Fish are unable to live in some lakes because there is insufficient of oxygen in water. That's true. Fertilizers can be washed into lakes where they cause eutrophication. That's true. That's the reason for the first one as well. Both statements are correct. Statement 2 explains the statement 1. Right? And gas X is present in dry air and may contribute to global warming. Now you guys know what's global warming gas is methane, carbon dioxide and methane. Which row correctly compares carbon dioxide and methane? Both contains carbon. True. Both are described as greenhouse gases. True. Both lower the pH. Not methane. Methane is neutral. Methane neutral. Water. But carbon dioxide reduces the pH. Therefore, first two are correct. The last one is not correct. Recently, even you sometimes go correct. It may be a guess. Right, next one. This is the carbon cycle. What's the process? PQR. P is the respiration. Q is photosynthesis. R is combustion. Grade 6. How many of the ions cause the effect? Substances, water, eutrophication. So nitrate ions and what? Phosphate ions. Therefore, the answer is 2. That means B. Which list contains only gases that are always present in unpolluted air? Right? Oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, argon, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, wrong. These two are pollutants. Oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, argon, neon. I doubt neon, but others are anyway wrong. Therefore, the answer is what? B. C is wrong because of nitrogen dioxide and ozone. D is wrong because of carbon monoxide. Remember, carbon dioxide is there even in unpolluted air. Yeah, noble gas. Noble gases, yeah. And several different treatments are used to purify water. Which impurity can be removed by which treatment? Filtration, solids, definitely. Filtration will harmful environment. Use of carbon, harm unpleasant odor and taste. Chlorination, harmful microbes. The answer is D. Methane and sulfur dioxide are two air pollutants found in Earth's atmosphere. Which row correctly identifies one source of each gas? Right, one source of methane, decaying plants. Obviously, lightning is for nitrogen dioxide. One source of sulfur dioxide, volcanic eruptions. Therefore, the answer is B. Right, photochemical reactions will have any ozone, ground level ozone. Right, Okay, so then seawater has to be purified in order to obtain drinking water. Which process are used to purify seawater? Fractional distillation, yes, you can get water. Desalination, yes, that's also possible. Now desalination, what the desalination can be do? What do we do? What's going on? මොකද මෙතන මේ මට ගහපු ඉන්නක් වගේ හෙට මෙහෙට වෙන්නේ. Security job එකක් කරලා දෙන්නේ. Right, what's called desalination? Not bad, you remove salt. Right, it is not in the, did I explain the separation techniques? I want to conduct explain because you find those questions in the paper, right? Let me explain what is meant by desalination. Listen carefully. We go back to biology. Biology, right? So I keep semi-permeable membrane. All right? Okay. And then I'm going to keep two solutions. One, salt. The other solution, water. Salt, water. Salt, aqueous salt, that means salt water. You have salt and water. Right? That side only water. The membrane allowing only water to move. What will happen to the water levels? Decrease කියන්නේ හරියට කියන්නේ මොන පැත්තද මොන increase වෙන මොන පැත්තද decrease
Water.
The right side is C.
The right
A side the B side the increase වෙන්නේ කියන්නකො.
A side increase.
A side increase. ඇයි?
High water
What do you call that? What do you call that process? Osmosis, right? So osmosis in the මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේ පැත්තට water molecules ටික එනවා. Right? Because you have high water potential that side and this. So what will happen? The water level increase. Right? So we first of all put biology, then we put physics. The water level increase වෙනවා බලන්න කොහෙද? When the water level increase, you know that water has some pressure. Then water has some pressure. What do you mean by two water levels? There is a difference in pressure. Which one has more pressure? Okay, pressure එක වැඩි. හරි. හැබැයි pressure එක balance වෙන්න osmotic pressure එකෙන් මේ පැත්තට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. This thing occurs due to the osmotic pressure. This is called osmotic pressure. මේ water level එක උඩට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන මෙහෙම pressure එකක් තියෙන ඉඳලා තමයි. Somebody has pressurized water. That's why it has gone up. That pressure is called osmotic pressure. Okay. Now what we do? We give mechanical pressure from this side. අපි දෙනවා මේ පැත්තේ mechanical pressure එක. We give mechanical pressure. Piston එකක් දාලා mechanical pressure එකක් දෙනවා. මොකද වෙන්නේ? Water through the semi-permeable membrane, since we are pressurizing, will go to which side? B side. To the side where you had normal load. Okay, Ranvi? And then what will happen to the part A? Salt concentration එක දැන් මොකද වෙන්නේ? Salt concentration එක වැඩි වෙනවා. ඒකේ තියෙන වතුර ටික මොනවද වෙන්නේ? Water අඩු වෙනවා. Water ටික ගිහලා water වලට collect වෙනවා. That's what we call reverse osmosis. How do you do reverse osmosis? By pressurizing the side with less water. Then the water remains, go to the other side and get collected. You get it? Then අපි මොකද කරේ? මේක sea water කියලා හිතන්නකො. This is sea water. That's normal water. අපි මොනවද මේ කරලා තියෙන්නේ? Sea water වල තිබ්බ water අරගෙන normal water. Normal තමයි කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලාද? Desalination. So in desalination, what we do according to biology, we are doing reverse what? Reverse osmosis. How do we do reverse osmosis? How do we do reverse osmosis? Pressurizing which side? concentrated side. ඒ පැත්තෙන් වතුර එන්න බලන්නේ. ඒතර අපි ඒකට pressurize කරනවා. ඒතර concentrated side again because seawater is concentrated. But there is large amount of water still, even though it's concentrated. So reverse osmosis help us to desalinate water. You get it? Right. Therefore, the pota desalination. Desalination is done through what? Semi-permeable membrane. You don't need to prevent. Biology. Okay. Right. 11th one. Right, here we go. We light a candle, which diagram shows the correct level of water after the candle stops burning. That's easy. The answer is. What answer? C. Why? Because the candle is going to utilize oxygen. We have 21% of oxygen, right? You have 21% of oxygen. That means 1/5 of that. Therefore, water goes up, right? And some atmospheric pollutants are listed: sulfur dioxide, methane, nitrogen dioxide. Which substances could be removed by reacting with calcium carbonate? This is here flue gas desulfurization. Calcium carbonate used to remove sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide because they are acidic. Calcium carbonate is basically basic, right? River water contains many impurities. It's a nice tutorial which covers everything that we learned under this. Which process alone can produce pure water from river water? Adding chlorine, yes, we do that. Distillation, we do it, but filtering, passing through carbon. Which process alone can produce pure water from river? Okay, right? Which process alone? Which process alone? That means just doing that process, only that process to make pure water. Now, adding chlorine, you can't make pure water. You can get rid of microbes, but not the others. Filtration, you can't get rid of microbes. Passing through carbon, you can't get rid of dissolved substance and microbes. Therefore, distillation, you can have everything happening, right? So then you may be wondering why people distill water and send it to the household usage. $1 billion why? Because distilling that large amount of you need a lot of energy. So the vehicles on the 200 beyond that. Right. Okay. Next. So number 14 onwards. Let's say some compounds containing nitrogens are fertilizers. Right? Which row is correct? Compound. Ammonia, ammonium carbonate, ammonium chloride, ammonium nitrate. The best one online says what? Ammonium nitrate, of course. But anyway, any ammonium salt can be used as a fertilizer. That's why it's in many cases. The answer is They use fertilizer and not for reason. The answer is D. Ammonium nitrate. Yes, because it contains a lot of nitrogen and it's soluble in water, so then plants can absorb it fast. Okay. The anithema gonna back. Ammonia doesn't lower the pH. Now, some of them, you don't think that you need to know everything here individually to find the answer. What you can do, you can use this. Now, this is basic. Ammonia is a base. Air pH, it can't lower the pH, it will increase the pH. You can use the elimination method. Ammonium carbonate insoluble, wrong. We don't know about ammonium carbonate. We never learned. But ammonium compounds are soluble in water. Therefore, the statement is wrong. Right? Therefore, the statement is wrong. And next one, ammonium chloride is made from the products of Haber process and contact process, wrong. Contact process again, sulfuric. Sulfuric chlorine bad. Yeah, some of you guys don't even think about analyzing the question like that. Oh, hey, right? You have to connect what you have done. Right? Next one, CFC. Which element in the compound causes depletion of ozone layer? It is chlorine. Chlorine break ozone react. See, even though they say no in the syllabus, they ask questions. Very unfair, right? Okay. Next one, let's check the answers. How long we have? Okay. 15 minutes. Think we have just enough time to finish that and finish these off for this semester. Huh? Huh? Let's get on. Okay. Yeah, never balabu break it. I find you are going to test that then. Okay. Again, අපිට තව එක දවසක් wait වෙන්න පුළුවන් exam එකට කලින්. As I promise you, I will do the salt preparation. Acid base නොකරත් salt preparation කරන්න. Acid base. So okay, no? Is used to kill bacteria in the purification of water. That should be ozone or chlorine. They have given chlorine. Is used as a food preservative, sulfur dioxide. It can kill bacteria. That's why. 78, nitrogen. Is formed when bacteria decay methane. Right? Question in the environmental mining. lesson එක කරගන්න බැරි වෙච්ච ළමයින්ට පොල් එකක වගේ තියෙන එක්සෑම් එකේදී එළින්ම පරිණි කර කොමෙන්ට් වහන්න. Is formed by photochemical smoke. Ozone, correct, very good. Ozone හැදෙන්නේ photochemical smoke එක ඇතුලේ. Is released when calcium hydroxide is added to soil containing fertilized ammonium nitrate. Ammonia. Because ammonium chloride or ammonium nitrate acidic, calcium hydroxide basic, they react. Produce acid. B part common sample here. Precipitate ammonia. Precipitate ammonia. Oh, අනවදියා කෑම එක ළඟටවත් ගන්න එකක් නෑ ammonia තිබ්බොත් ඒකේ. It was a coolant used in refrigerator. Doesn't mean that it's used to preserve food by mixing it with food. කඩ ගහනවා. කෑම කනකොට toilet එක ළඟ යනවා වගේ ගන්නක් එනවනේ කෑම කන්න ඉන්න. Right? Ammonia. Huh? Okay. State which two gases in the list show the incomplete combustion has taken place in the car? Carbon dioxide. So, carbon monoxide. State which two gases in the list show that incomplete combustion has taken place in the car? Octane, unknown. Incomplete combustion unamalama, you get unburned hydrocarbons. Some of you couldn't figure it out. It's a good question. Of course, 2021 October. See, latest one. One of the latest ones, right? Okay, describe the test for carbon dioxide lime water. I don't have to write that. Past that through lime water observation, it goes milky. Two natural sources of methane in the atmosphere are from leaks of natural gas and waste gases from animals. Give other natural source of methane in the atmosphere. Then the leak of natural gas can huh? Livestock, yes. Livestock, huh?
The livestock.
Okay. Animal farming.
So what do you mean by livestock?
Yes. Animal farming.
Then give you waste gases from animals.
Oh, that's also correct. No, waste gases from animals, they are given. එහෙනම් මේකට හොඳම ආන්සර් එක තමයි මොකද්ද? Landfill sites. Why? Decomposition of waste. Plant waste and animal waste. Decomposition of plant and animal waste. That's the correct. අර දෙකම වැරදි. මොකද යා කියලා තියෙනවනේ. Plant and animal waste. Okay. Animal waste. Fine. Organic matter. The animal waste there. Animal waste gases from animals. The main elaborate. What do you mean by livestock? Cows, animals remain the one. Okay, complete the sentence about the effect of increase of concentration of methane in the atmosphere. Methane is a greenhouse gas. Greenhouse gas. Because it absorbs and then re-emits infrared radiation. This contributes increase in temperature, which is called global warming. ළමයි ආයිද class එකේ දුන්න note එක විදියටම තියෙනවා මොකද්ද? Exam question එක. Now to see this. Right? Textbooks වලවත් නෑ මේක හරියට මේ විදිහට කියලා. Right? In the exam they have nicely tested the correct knowledge. Right? Syllabus එකෙත් නෑ global warming වචනේ. Syllabus එකේ තියෙන්නේ greenhouse. මෙච්චර clearly තිබුණේ නෑ paper එකේදී අහලා තියෙනවා අසල. Right, let's say cars are fitted with catalytic converters to reduce the amount of harmful pollutant gases. Describe how catalytic converters remove pollutant. Describe. Right? It contains what? Very good. It contains rare transition elements or rare metals. Better say transition. Transition metals. Such as platinum, palladium, right? As catalyst. As catalysts. Catalyst for carbon monoxide and nitrogen monoxide reaction. Producing carbon dioxide and nitrogen, right? Which are less harmful. Which are less harmful. Now be more specific. Be more specific. Right? Say what pollutants are. You know, what? හරියට ලියන්න මොකද්ද මේ අකුරු වල හැටි? දැන් නම් නිදිමතයන්ට දෙන්න වෙනවා ඒක. හරිද? Go. No, go. කියන දේ අහන්නකෝ. සරයක් නෝ ටීචර් කෙනෙක් කිව්වම කියව ඉන්න බා කිව්වම කරන්න එච්චරයි. They should have done it earlier. Organic chemistry එකම ඇවිල්ලා කිරණෝක එලවලා දාන පන්තිය. හරිද? එතන මේ එක්සෑම් එක ලඟ වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඇලර්ට් නැත්තම් මොනවටද මේ කරලා හදන්නේ මේ? Right. State the type of chemical reaction that takes place in ozone is formed in this way. What do you call this? This is ozone react with ultraviolet light. I mean, ozone is produced due to the reaction with nitrogen dioxide and ultraviolet light, right? What's that? Photochemical reactions. They are called photochemical reactions. Photochemical reactions. Next, nitrogen dioxide is formed internal combustion engines, right? State one other source of nitrogen dioxide in the atmosphere, internal lightning, our internal combustion engines, that's a
Burning items.
Huh?
Burning items.
burning high temp, okay, high temp, sorry, furnaces, high temperature furnaces. High temperature flames, කියලා විතරක් මදි කියන්න ඕනේ මොන වගේ තැන්වල. Better say like furnaces, right? An engine එකක් කිව්වනේ other furnaces or lightning. Even gas cooker, I will accept it. Don't worry. High temperature.
So with Cambridge accept.
දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මම මේ කියලා දීලා තියෙන විදිහටම නේද Cambridge questions ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. Final lesson එකේ ඒ විදිහටම question එකක් විදිහට තියෙනවා. So you don't believe me then? Huh? Okay. State one other source of nitrogen as done. State one problem for human that arise if the ozone layer is depleted. So you know that they have already said. May water. Now don't get confused. Huh? I didn't tell this because that might confuse you. Now a layer of ozone is present high in the atmosphere, right? And they were talking about the ozone formation in the previous one, photochemical smoke and all these things. They clearly identify currently and said one problem for humans that can arise. Answer is easy, right? Skin cancers, cataract, and the skin burns and stuff, right? Next one. Now it's like water. State one source of both of these compounds, ammonium nitrate, calcium phosphate. One source of both these compounds. One source. Don't write detergent. Detergent වැරදි. Detergent වලින් මොනවා එන්නේ නැද්ද? Ammonium nitrate එන්නේ. Fertilizers වලින් තමයි recommend because phosphate is also used in fertilizers. Right? So then it's fertilizers. Describe and explain environmental effect of the presence of these dissolved compounds in river. Okay, 2016 little eutrophication. Eutrophication like another effect, right? Highly unlikely you get because not mentioned, but you know, right? What's the first thing? Algal bloom occurs. Then the light doesn't penetrate water. Submerged plants die. Bacteria work on it. Oxygen concentration decrease. Other animals die. That's the eutrophication. No, yeah. Lian. I'm very good to Lian. Sticky note. River water is open. Now you can write, right? Three processes involved in purification. River water. First one, coagulation and sedimentation. Right? Second one, coagulation and sedimentation, blocking the right? Second process, wait, these three processes involved in purification. Okay, three processes. Right? Then filtration through sand and charcoal. Right? Then the reason why are you doing that? Huh? And then put chlorine gas, bubble chlorine ozone gas to disinfect water. First one you write sedimentation or coagulation to remove the suspended particles. Second one you write filtration through activated charcoal to get rid of odor and taste. Process 3, add chlorine ozone, purify this. Right, probably the last 2 pages. What is the percentage by volume oxygen in dry air? It's going to be 21%. In addition to releasing oxygen, photosynthesis glucose, the overall equation, should I write? No, I think. Describe the essential conditions needed for photosynthesis.
Subsidized.
Is it mentioned? Is it mentioned? No, right? Okay, so sunlight. Okay, light.
Chlorophyll.
chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. Chloroplast to career. You know the difference between chloroplast and chlorophyll, right?
Last contains chlorophyll.
Correct. And explain how burning of coal results in the formation of acid rain. That's a nice question. First of all, if you say coal contains sulfur, sulfur is burned to give sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide dissolves in rain to form what? Acid or acids. To form acids. State one effect of acid rain. There are many. Limestone structure dissolve. Soil gets acidified. Building structures. Specific answer එකක් ලියන්නකො මනුස්සයෙක්ට මාක් එකක් දානකොට අතල පස්සරයක් හිතන්න නැති වෙන කෙටි මාක්ස් එක ලියන්න. Metal constructions corrode, right? ලියන එක ලියන්නකො හරියට. Learn how to be like more specific in answering. මේ අවුරුදු දෙකක් ඉගෙනගෙන එක්සෑම් එකේදී එන ලේම් ආන්සර් එකක් දෙන්න අපව තපා කරනවා. අපරාධ ලෙක්චර් අමාරුයි පාස් එක ඉගෙනගෙන එදාට මොකක් හරි විශ්වාස කරනවා. Okay, what condition is needed for nitrogen and oxygen to combine in high energy, high temperature? High temperature. High energy is not a condition. Energy තමයි ඕනේ. ඒක එන condition එක මොකක්ද? High temperature. Nitric acid in the atmosphere chemically reacting with calcium carbonate. So it will give you calcium nitrate. Don't forget the valency of calcium. You get carbon dioxide and water. So this. Construct the equation for complete combustion of propane. C3H8 reacts with oxygen. Give you 3 carbon dioxide and 4 water. Right? And then it's all together. Yeah, 10. Therefore, 5 oxygen needed. Describe how the process in carbon cycle regulate the amount of carbon dioxide in atmosphere. The carbon cycle again points here. So then first of all, you have to say photosynthesis. Photosynthesis removes carbon dioxide. Removes carbon dioxide from atmosphere. Absorb from atmosphere. That is one. Listen to me. Listen to this very carefully. Right. Second, respiration and decomposition. Add carbon dioxide to atmosphere. Now the question is, there must be 3 marks for this actually. Describe how the processes in the carbon cycle regulate the amount of carbon dioxide. When me paper එකේ බලන්න මතක එක සැරයක් අවුරුද්දක ළමයින්ට ලකුණ කඩු වුණා. හොඳ ළමයින්ට මේ 100 ටාගට් කරන් ඉන්නයි. I can't remember whether it's for O levels or A levels. When they say regulate, you have to say these 2 processes happen in kind of a similar rates. That's the regulated there. If photosynthesis rate and the respiration and decomposition rates are similar, then it won't regulate. මේ point එක ලියන්න. Sorry? Oh, මෙතන මේ natural එක අහන්නේ carbon cycle. Industrial emission එක හින්දානේ greenhouse gases වැඩි. So you have to say naturally what happens? The rate of these two processes are similar. Yeah. The rate of these two processes are similar to regulate carbon dioxide.
Reaction happens in equilibrium.
No. It's not an equilibrium. What do you understand by the term greenhouse gas? And the greenhouse gas again, which can absorb and re-emit IR radiation. Which can absorb and re-radiate IR radiation. Give one source of methane to the atmosphere, now you can write many. The percentage of methane by volume in air is this. Calculate the mass of methane. Nice question. Calculate the mass of methane. 2 marks. 2 marks. 3 marks. Then what is the question? First of all, you find volume of methane. A very nice question. Volume of methane is 1000 into 0.00014 divided by 100. This is the volume of methane. That means 0.0014, isn't it? dm³. In the past, we had moles. How do you find the moles? N equals V over 24. 0.0014 dm³ divided by 24 dm³ per mole. Then ඉතින් මේවා පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. You mean the moles? Do you mean the moles? Moles. 0.000. 0.000. Zeros තුනයි තියෙන්නේ. අතරයි 5833, right? And that's the moles. But that's not the end. They ask in mass, right? Then you have to apply N equals M over capital N. 0.00005833 is equal M over methane is 16, right? So then what's the answer? 0.0009 exactly. 9. I get a 93 and note 93 grams. That means by milligrams, 0.93 milligrams. That's the answer. It's a good question, right? Oh, done. And dusted. So your syllabus is except for that. That's what we were right. We will do acid base and salt, mainly salt preparation next day in detail. And in the revision class, we will do, we'll try to do another paper and do your best in the semester exams after that. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, sir. Have a nice day, sir. Thank you, sir.